Hello and welcome to Into the Woods with Holly Worton. This podcast has evolved over the 5+ years since it first launched. From now on, I'm going to be talking about deepening your connection with yourself, taking inspired action, and really trusting yourself and your intuition. And also mindset, of course, but mindset of all kinds, not just business mindset. I think. Things are changing for me, as you may have noticed if you've been following me online or listening to this podcast, so anything goes here. I hope you stay along for the ride. Thank you so much for joining us today, and now let's get into this week's episode. Hello and welcome to the Into the Woods podcast, episode 355. This is your host, Holly Worton, and I'm back with another solo episode. Today, I'm going to talk about navigating the ups and downs of lockdown. Things may be different, at least in the UK, by the time this goes live on Monday. It's Thursday when I'm recording this. But I seem to be having similar conversations with a lot of friends and also listeners. So I thought I would talk about this topic again. I'm sure we're all sick about talking about lockdown and COVID and coronavirus and quarantine and all this stuff, but I think it's really worth talking about. So here we go. So as you probably know, if you've been listening to the last few episodes, I started out this lockdown in a really great spot. I had just come back from 2 weeks camping and hiking and walking and spending time in nature, and I felt amazing, and I went straight into super creative mode, and I wrote all this stuff, and I released some books, and I got some other books ready to be released, and it was just really great. I was on fire. I was feeling good. I was really enjoying the lockdown. And since then, there have been some ups and downs, and I'm kind of in the middle of a downer right now. And I know people always say, don't talk about things when you're in a down point because you need to share the teachings, the learnings, the stuff that you've learned when you've come out the other side. But I don't think I'm so far down that I can't share the learnings from this. I had a really good kind of journaling session with myself this morning, and things are definitely looking up since this morning. But I had a bit of a cry yesterday morning with my Master Gut group. And I canceled some other calls this week because I just couldn't sit on the calls trying to pretend like I was normal when I wasn't feeling right. So, wanted to say, let's start this out by saying wherever you are right now, whether you're feeling good, whether you're feeling bad, whether you're somewhere in the middle, that's all right. These are still really weird times. Things are starting to lift up in some parts of the world. And that's exciting, but that might lead to a new wave of this. We don't know. So wherever you are, whatever you're feeling right now, that's fine. Give yourself permission to feel that, even if it feels crappy. And here's the process that I followed this morning when I was feeling kind of shitty. I've been really struggling to get work done. I've been really struggling to focus. I've been doing the bare minimum, the urgent client work, that kind of stuff. And my stuff has really kind of fallen to the side. I didn't send out an email to my list last Friday because I just didn't feel like it. And I didn't want to force myself to write something that was just going to clog up people's inbox with crap. So I didn't. So again, doing the bare minimum, feeling crappy sometimes. And also feeling really frustrated with myself because I'm not getting stuff done and the emails are piling up in my inbox, and that just makes me feel more stressed. So yesterday I was able to apply 5x5 rule. So I just kind of went into my inbox and I just picked the first 5 emails. I didn't go through and kind of cherry pick the good ones, the easy ones. I just started at the top and I did 5, and I ticked them off on a piece of paper. And then I allowed myself to read a little bit of a book that I was reading on the Pacific Crest Trail. And then I went back and I did 5 more emails, and then I allowed myself to do something else. And I got through some emails that way. Today, I wasn't that good, and I will be going through that process later. I've been kind of cherry picking emails that I thought were easier to do or more urgent, and that didn't work for me today. So what have I done today to kind of help get me a little bit out of the slump? One of the things that I was talking about yesterday with my Master Gut buddies was how I need to just surrender to what's going on and accept it. Accept that this is my life now. I wrote this down in my journal, and I think that's really important. Like this stuff that we're experiencing right now is our life now. It's not always going to be like this. And unfortunately, we don't know how much longer it's going to be like this, but it's not always going to be like this. There's going to be a point when we get out of lockdown, maybe things won't go back to normal. Probably they won't. There will be a new normal, and we don't know what that looks like. So again, there's still a lot of uncertainty going on. But this stuff that we're feeling now, this stuff that we're experiencing now, this is temporary. It's going to change. There's going to be ups and downs like normal life, but things will change. Like this today, this crap that I'm feeling is just today. It can shift. And it actually did shift after I went through this. So one of the things that my Master Gut friend said was that I needed to just decide to have a good day. And this morning I was writing that down in my journal, and I just thought, you know what? I don't feel like it. I don't feel like deciding to have a good day. I was feeling just like a bratty little kid that was having a tantrum. So I kind of had my tantrum in my journal. But I found this process to be really useful. I feel like I'm rambling, and I'm really sorry if I am. So I start out by looking at the current situation. Like, how do I feel today, right now? What's going on? What's triggering me? What's bad? What don't I like? And I just wrote it down. You know, I'm tired of lockdown. I'm tired of work. I don't want to clean my own house. Usually we have a cleaner, but obviously she hasn't been here for weeks, and I hate cleaning house. I don't want to deal with Amazon. I'd released last week, I thought, my South Downs Way 2nd edition, and it was really urgent that I release that in time for an ebook promotion that I'll talk about in a little bit, where I connected with 5 other writers who talk about hiking and walking, and we put together a promotion for our ebooks. And I was super excited to add my 2nd edition of my South Downs Way book to this promotion. However, Amazon blocked the book because it has similar content to the 1st edition, and they want to make sure that I have the rights to produce this book. And I've been going back and forth with Amazon for about 10 days now, and they still haven't released the book. It's blocked. So I ended up having to upload it elsewhere so that people could buy it, and it's really frustrating me. Anyway, I don't want to deal with Amazon. You know, I'm tired of certain people in my life that I've been having some conflicts with. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. I don't want to answer emails. I don't want to sit at my computer. I don't want to be stuck in my office. I don't want to be stuck in my house. I don't want to read the books on my shelf. So I have this separate book shelf of books that I've bought, but I haven't read yet, and I don't want to read any of them. Like I was just feeling like throwing a tantrum. So I did that in my journal. I wrote down all the stuff I didn't want to do, all the stuff that was bothering me. And yes, it was not earth-shattering stuff. It was not that big of a deal, but it really helped to kind of get it out of my head, get all of the little like niggling complaints outside of my head and onto paper. Partly because it kind of decluttered the crap from my head, but also because I realized it's not that big of a deal. But all this stuff together kind of compounds and was making me feel like crap. So then I thought, okay, this is all the stuff that's bothering me. What do I want instead? I want to go on a long walk. I want to sit in the sunshine. I want to go camping. I want to go for a run. I want to blah, 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 blah. I want to get my books done. I want to feel creative again. I want to feel free. I want my cleaner to come back because I don't want to clean my house anymore. I want. So I kind of went through and just dumped all the stuff out of my head that I wanted. And then I went through all the stuff that I didn't want and made sure that I kind of flipped that around, each one of those things. And the list of things that I wanted instead were about twice as long as the things that I didn't want. But that was starting to make me feel better, you know, all these things that I want to do, and maybe I can't do them all now, or I choose not to do them all now, but they're all things that I can do in the future. And then I thought, okay, what's good right now? Like, what am I grateful for? What's going right in my life right now? Because obviously it's not all bad. I had a really good session with my fasting coach a couple weeks ago, and I have a new fasting program, and I'm losing weight consistently, and I'm super happy about that. Fasting has been really easy, especially this week, because of some of the things that I learned in my last fasting coaching call. I have a great fasting plan. I have a steady income, like money's still coming in from client work, and money is improving from my book sales, slowly, but it's improving. Amazon ads are going really well for my tree book, not going so well for my business book, but that's okay, it's going well for my tree book. I can go on short walks near home. I can read books about walking. I can get cheap ebooks about walking thanks to this promotion that's just started today. I can go for a run. I just signed up for a course on how to through hike the Pacific Crest Trail. Probably never going to through hike it, but I do want to hike it in chunks. So I've signed up for this course, haven't been given access to it yet, but I'm super excited about it. I signed up for another course on how to lead walking groups that I'm taking next week, so I can go through all of the pre-course material on that. I don't actually have any writing deadlines coming up, so that's good. They're coming up in a couple of months, but I don't have anything imminent that I'm in danger of not complying with. So that's good. That gives me a little bit of a break. I can work from home. Not everyone can. That's really good, and I'm super grateful for that. I am making more money every month for my books. That's good. I am in a great relationship with my partner. We're used to living at home together and working from home together, and we've not had any of the frictions that a lot of other people have, and I'm super grateful for that. We have a small but comfortable house. We have a great lifestyle, even during lockdown. Like, things are pretty good. So that started to kind of lift me up again, making the list of stuff that I'm grateful for, making a list of all the things that are good in my life, because it's not all bad. There's a lot of good stuff, and the good stuff really, quite honestly, outweighs the bad stuff. And then I asked myself, like, what are the gifts in this situation? So I can play around with different fasting protocols now because I don't have my kickboxing live classes where I'm doing sparring, which is really intense. So that's good because I'm not exercising as much, which is not good in the long run, but it's given me kind of the physical energy to play around with my fasting. So that's good. Things have slowed down, which quite honestly, I needed. I know I had a couple of weeks away right before we went into lockdown where I was hiking and camping, and that was really good, but I really did need to kind of slow down because I had a really ambitious plan for this year. All of that's kind of been thrown to the wind, but I think I needed this. So that's good. So then I asked myself, how can I have more of what I want now? So I can do this Pacific Crest Trail course now. I can't do the trail now. I can't do other long distance walking trails now, but I can do the course now, and that gets me excited. I can read other books about walking. I can do the prep for my guiding other people on walking groups course. I can do daily walks and runs. I can clean my own house, and I have been, obviously. It's not an absolute dump here, but it's not the level of cleanliness that I'm used to, but I can do it myself, and I've been decluttering, and that's been good, and that's felt good. Like, there are a lot of things I can do now. I can also create a plan for the future. And so I sat down and I wrote for the next couple of years which trails I want to walk. So I want to walk the Ridgeway next year and update my book about it. In 2022, I want to walk the 2 Caminos that I was going to walk this year. I want to walk the Portuguese Camino. I want to walk the English Camino. Maybe I'll change that up and maybe I'll walk the French Trail, which is what I've always wanted to do. Maybe in 2 years I'll have time to do that. I don't know. If not, I'll do it the following year. And then the Pacific Crest Trail, how many stages can I split it up into? 5, 6, more? I don't know. I can play around with that based on what I learn in this course. Just planning these walks for the future made me feel better. It made me feel like I will do fun things again. It made me feel like I will do all the things that I really enjoy again. I can plan camping trips. I don't know whether or not my outdoors courses that I plan for this year will go ahead. I don't know if they're going to start later. I don't know what's going on with that. But I'll do them. If not this year, then next year. So I hope this was helpful for you to hear my process that I went through today. I really definitely felt better as a result of doing it. I'll walk you through the steps in just a minute, and then I'll write these out for the show notes so you can have the journal prompt questions. basically, again, it started out by getting all the crap out of my head, all the stuff that I didn't want. Then it was flipping it on its head, looking at what do I want instead. Then it was looking at what's good right now, what am I grateful for? And I could have, and perhaps should have, done a gratitude list. So yesterday I'm flipping through my journals. I did a gratitude list of 10 things that I was grateful for. That often helps to bring my spirits up a little bit, or to sometimes just completely make me feel better. So that could be an extra step. Do a gratitude list. And look for the gifts in the situation. Like, what are the good things from this lockdown? Sometimes it feels like there aren't any good things from lockdown. But really there are, even if they're small things. And I only wrote down a couple of things that were the gifts in the situation. I could have spent more time looking at the gifts in the situation, but I can do that again tomorrow if I'm not feeling well. And then finally, how can I have more of what I want now? How can I adapt the things that I really enjoy to now, to this lockdown? So I think this is going to be a short episode, but I hope you found this useful. Like I said, I've been having similar conversations with friends. I had a chat earlier today with a friend who was saying that she's been going through some kind of difficult times as well. And she was saying how, she was really stressed and anxious for a while. And it was really difficult. And she said there was even a point where she felt like quitting her business. And then about a half an hour later, I got an email from another friend saying the same thing, saying that there have been moments where she felt like quitting her business in the last few weeks. I think a lot of people are reevaluating everything, and whatever you're feeling is okay. I've just been reminded of this song that I mentioned a couple months ago, I think, in my email list. I think it's called Everything You Feel by Tristan Starling. I'll link to it in the show notes. Let me make a note of that. And I think it's a really good song. I'll link to it on Bandcamp. I think you can listen to it for free there. Yeah, just listen to it. Everything you feel is sacred is one of the things that he repeats in the song, in the chorus of the song. And it's a really lovely song. So remember that everything you feel is sacred. Everything you feel is good. Everything you feel is right, even if it feels crappy. Like, just give yourself permission to feel all the feels. And if you need an armchair adventure during this time, I would invite you to head over to hollyworton.com/hike and check out the hiking books that we've got on offer. So it's through May 7th through 11th. And so the 11th, when this comes out, is going to be the last day of this. You can get any one or all of 6 ebooks at either $99. That's a really good ebook. 99 cents or 99p, or free. A couple of them are free. So one of them is my book, Alone on the South Downs Way. The next one is Candy Floss Guitar, The Reluctant Pilgrim, Book 1 from Stephen Marriott, who was a guest on this podcast last Monday. I hope you enjoyed that episode. And if you haven't listened to it yet, check it out. We talk about long distance trails, and I think it's really, really good. Keith Foskett is offering his book, The Journey in Between, for free. And I'm really looking forward to reading that one. I've come across his books on Amazon. He's been on my wish list for a long time, but I haven't actually read any of his books yet. So this particular book is about the Camino de Santiago. Graham Harvey's book, Another Way, the Camino Portugués. I'm super excited about reading that because that was the trail that I was supposed to walk before we went into this whole lockdown mess. Susan Jagannath has written a book called The Valley of Flowers, The Ultimate Guide to an Adventure Trek in the Upper Himalaya. That sounds super exciting. I've never walked in that part of the world, but I know people that have, and it looks amazing. So I'm going to be reading that one as well. Jack Moskrop has written a book called Blue Ice, White Powder, and this one's free, about summiting and skiing the Mont Blanc. And it sounds like they had a really crazy adventure on this one. They couldn't find a guide. Finally, someone stepped up and said they would take them to the top of the mountain, and thus had a ski adventure. So these are the 6 books. Hope you like them. I hope you check them out. Again, 2 of them are free. The other 4 are 99p or 99 cents. hollyworton.com/hike. If you're listening to this on Monday, today is the last day in theory to get these books at a discount. My book's going to be at a discount for a while. Certainly it's going to be at a discount until I can get it up on Amazon, and then we will see how that goes. I need to get a few reviews up before I can get my Amazon ads on. So, yeah, there we go. That is all for now. I hope you found this interesting and useful, and I hope you're doing well. Again, remember, everything that you feel is okay. If you've been stuck in a rut or if you've been stuck in a down spot for a while, please take the time to go through this process that I outlined for you today. Hopefully it will help you feel better. It certainly helped me feel better. I can't say I'm like on top of the world now, but I'm definitely feeling better than I was this morning, and I'm definitely feeling better than I was yesterday. So here's to feeling better. And if you need to make a list of, self-care things. I've talked about self-care in the last few weeks as well. Do what you need to do to feel better, whatever that is. So I hope you have found this interesting and useful, and I hope you're feeling better. That's all for now. Remember to visit hollyworton.com/355 for the show notes on this episode. Thank you. Thanks so much for listening to Into the Woods with Holly Worton. You can find more information about today's episode, including links for topics that were discussed, at hollyworton.com. That's HOLLYWORTON.com. If you'd like to connect with other listeners and get support on your journey, I would love for you to join my private community on Patreon. That's patreon.com/Holly Worton. That's patreon.com/Holly Worton. Thank you so much for listening, and I look forward to seeing you next week.